Let's get right into it. Number 10. The Reply Reflex. Scientists have discovered something disturbing about our constant phone checking. Every time you check a notification, your brain needs about 23 minutes to get back to full focus. Most people check their phones every 10 minutes, so your brain never gets those 23 minutes it needs. It's like trying to restart your computer while constantly hitting the power button. These notifications trigger the same brain pathways as slot machines. Each ping gives you a tiny hit of dopamine, the feel-good chemical. Your brain starts craving these little interruptions. It's like training a dog with treats, except you're the dog, and the treats are making you dumber. Your phone is basically a tiny casino in your pocket, and instead of losing money, you're losing your ability to concentrate. Number 9. The Productivity Paralysis. You're scrolling YouTube late at night. You see a video titled, "How I Wake Up at 4 a.m. and Get Everything Done." You watch it, feel inspired, and then watch another one about time management. Before you know it, it's 2 a.m., and you've spent 3 hours watching videos about being productive, instead of being productive. Scientists call this productivity paralysis. It's when your brain gets tricked into thinking that learning about productivity is the same as actually being productive. Every time you watch one of these videos, your brain gives you a small, satisfying chemical reward. Your brain thinks it's getting its life together, but you're just training your brain to prefer watching videos about doing things instead of actually doing them. It's like going to the gym, sitting on a bench, and watching workout videos instead of lifting weights. Scientists have found that people who constantly consume productivity content often get less done. Your brain gets addicted to the easy dopamine hit, and real work, which is hard and uncomfortable, starts to feel impossible. Number 8. GPS brain rot. Your brain is getting worse at navigation because of GPS. Scientists found something fascinating when they studied London taxi drivers. These drivers memorized 25,000 streets and 20,000 landmarks to get their license. No GPS allowed, just pure brain power. Their hippocampus, the part of the brain that handles navigation, actually grows bigger. It's like they're walking around with a built-in Google Maps in their head. But for those who rely on GPS, the opposite happens. The hippocampus starts to get lazy. Scientists tested this with 2 groups navigating a city. One group used GPS, the other used paper maps. The paper map group could draw detailed maps of the area from memory. The GPS group couldn't even remember if they turned left or right at major landmarks. When you don't use your navigation skills, your brain starts treating familiar routes like they're brand new every time. That's why you can drive the same route to work for years with GPS, but when it dies, you're suddenly lost. The same part of your brain that handles navigation also helps with memory and learning, so when it becomes underused, you're not just getting worse at finding your way around. You're dulling your ability to learn. Number 7. The Binge-Watch Brain Fry. Your brain feels like mashed potatoes after binge-watching a whole season of a show in one weekend, and science shows you probably don't even remember most of it. Scientists have found that binge-watching turns your memory into Swiss cheese. Your brain is like a bouncer at a club. It can only let in so many people at once. When you binge-watch, it's like having 1,000 people trying to get in at the same time. The bouncer gets overwhelmed and starts making bad decisions. That's why you might remember that the dragon lady died, but forget all the important stuff that led up to it. Binge-watching floods your brain with dopamine. It feels good, but you're actually training your brain to be lazy. It's like going to the gym and watching someone else work out. Scientists found that people who binge-watch regularly have worse memory for shows than people who watch one episode at a time. This habit makes you worse at learning in real life. Your brain gets used to this passive way of taking in information, so when you need to actually learn something important, your brain wants the movie trailer version instead. Number 6. Never being bored. Your brain has something called the default mode network, or DMN. Think of it like your brain's janitor. It comes out to clean up and organize things when nothing else is happening. But we're not letting the janitor do its job anymore. We're constantly stuffing our brains with TikToks and Instagram reels to avoid being bored. It's like having a 24/7 party in your head and never letting the cleanup crew in. When you're bored, your brain isn't actually doing nothing. It's processing memories, making new connections, and coming up with creative ideas. Your best ideas often come when you're doing something boring, like taking a shower. That's your DMN at work. This constant need for stimulation is actually making us less creative and insightful. Studies show that people would rather give themselves mild electric shocks than sit alone with their thoughts for 15 minutes. We're training our brains to be addicted to distractions, and just like any addiction, it gets harder and harder to quit. Number 5. The I'll do it later lobotomy. Your brain actively works against you when you procrastinate. Every time you put something off, your brain gives you a small, satisfying dopamine reward for avoiding the stressful task. It's like your brain is saying, "Good job avoiding that scary thing." But while you're getting these little rewards, your body is slowly marinating in stress hormones like cortisol. This constant low-grade anxiety eats away at your ability to think clearly. Scientists have found that chronic procrastinators can have less gray matter in their prefrontal cortex. That's the part of your brain responsible for planning, decision-making, and being a functional adult. So every time you say, "I'll do it later," you're strengthening a bad mental habit. This creates a feedback loop. The more you procrastinate, the harder tasks seem. The harder tasks seem, the more you procrastinate. It's like watching yourself slowly walk into quicksand while scrolling through TikTok. Number 4. The chronic stress hormone bath. Your brain is taking a bath in a stress hormone called cortisol. When you're being chased by a bear, cortisol is your best friend. It helps you run faster and think quicker. But your brain can't tell the difference between a bear chase and your boss sending you a "Can we talk" email at 4:59 p.m. on a Friday. Both situations trigger the same stress response. In today's world, we're basically getting chased by email bears 24/7. This means your brain is constantly marinating in cortisol. And just like how marinating a steak too long turns it to mush, too much cortisol damages your brain. Scientists found that chronic stress actually shrinks your hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for memory and learning. Stress is literally making your brain smaller. This constant stress bath also makes you worse at handling stress, creating a vicious cycle. Number 3. The photo-taking amnesia. Ever notice how people at concerts spend more time filming than actually watching the show? Congratulations! You've got a shaky video of a tiny dot on stage that you'll never watch again. Taking all those photos and videos isn't just annoying the people behind you, it's actually making you remember less. Scientists call it the photo-taking impairment effect. When you take a photo of something, your brain goes, "My phone's got this covered," and stops trying to remember it. Your brain is essentially outsourcing its memory to your phone. It's a lazy employee who stops working when someone else does their job. Studies show that people who take photos of art in museums remember fewer details about the artwork than people who just look at it. We're so busy documenting these moments that we're not actually experiencing them. We're creating a highlight reel of our lives that we don't even remember living. Number 2. The typing over writing effect. Scientists have found that taking notes on a laptop can make you dumber. When you write by hand, your brain goes through a complicated process. It has to decide what's important, summarize it, and then coordinate with your hand to write it down. It's a mental workout. But when you type, you're basically just being a human printer. You're not processing the information. You're just copying it word for word like a mindless robot. Scientists did brain scans of people writing versus typing. When people write by hand, their brains light up with activity. But when they type, their brains look about as active as someone watching paint dry. Students who take notes by hand remember significantly more information than those who type. That's like getting a huge chunk of your brain power back just by picking up a pen. Your handwriting might look like a drunk spider had a dance party on the page, but at least you'll remember what was being said. Number 1. Clutter blindness. Your brain hasn't stopped seeing that pile of stuff on your desk. In fact, it's working overtime trying to process every single item in that mess. It's like having 50 tabs open on your computer, but instead of Chrome crashing, it's your brain that's slowing down. Scientists found that your brain treats every piece of clutter like an unfinished task screaming for attention. While you're trying to focus on your work, your brain is also processing that half-empty water bottle, those random sticky notes, and that weird pen you got 3 years ago. It's like trying to have a serious conversation while 20 people are poking you with sticks. Your brain adapts to ignore the clutter, but that adaptation comes at a cost. It's using up mental energy just to not think about the mess. It's like hiring a full-time security guard in your brain whose only job is to say, "Nothing to see here," every time you look at your desk. This cognitive load makes it harder to focus and make good decisions. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.